Last week, Senator Dale Schultz and Representative Wendy Wright were in Algoma to discuss how poverty, charter schools, declining enrollments, and vouchers have really created what they call a perfect storm as far as funding for rural schools in Wisconsin. What do you do when you have those four factors? You've got declining enrollment, poverty, charter schools, and vouchers all impacting rural schools. Where do you start to fix the problem?
Well, I'm not sure, first off, that at this point charter and voucher schools are really hurting them. I don't think at this point, and I'm not saying that it won't in the future if they continue to expand vouchers, but I don't think at this point that they're draining appreciable money away from our schools. I mean, there are no voucher schools within our area. And I don't think the state fund, that money was put out in addition. It came out of the general fund. It did not come out of the education, out of the money that went for the public schools. You know, I don't think it's particularly rural schools. I think it's any school district with a declining enrollment. Under the formula that was enacted in 1992, I think that they suffer. You know, it's set up on a per pupil revenue cap, and that just doesn't work. If you lose 100 students, you do not lose that much cost. So it simply doesn't work, and that's one of the things that needs to be looked at. I think that the funding system is broken. It does not work for the schools that experience declining enrollment, and I certainly want to overhaul that.
Joe Majeski?
Well, Rick, the question was specifically addressing Mandy Wright's presentation, who's a Democratic legislator, and also Senator Dale Schultz, who's a Republican legislator. And they are traveling around the state trying to raise awareness that we have a significant crisis in our public school system. A Republican legislator and a Democrat legislator working together and agreeing on the same problem. I had the pleasure of attending that forum down in Algoma. We got a lot of information and notes from it in their presentation here. They clearly indicated, and they went through all of the facts of the situation of how voucher schools are clearly taking money away from the public school system. That's one problem. But the more serious problem is our current Republican legislator who have said they want to expand the voucher system. They want to expand it statewide. Right now, we've lost $149 million to close voucher schools, which has come directly out of our public schools, raised our taxes here in the First Assembly. If they go ahead with their plan, I don't know if Joel can stop them from it, but if they go ahead with their plan, that's another $700 million coming out of our school systems that we're just going to have to raise referendums for in order to keep our doors open.
Joel Kitchens?
Well, I think it's getting a little repetitive because I do think that we need to be very cautious about expanding that voucher program. I do think that in the future it will take money away from public schools, which we can't really afford. There are like 125,000 students within the state that go to either a private school or homeschooled, and we certainly don't have the resources to give each of them a voucher.